it is going to be very interesting times going forward. Um, a lot of these girls, these young women that have an OnlyFans, um, I hope, I hope that you invest your money into things that will help support your future. Um, because if you look at what's happening right now with men not getting married, um, you 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 women will sure be able to find. Well, first off, you're gonna get older. You're not gonna stay 22. Um, you're gonna get older. You're gonna hit, well, they say the wall, which I really can't talk because I can't even. There's any women under 40 aren't attracted to me, so but obviously, I guess I've hit the wall. So, but I'm just saying, if any female was to see this video, which they probably won't, um, and they're thinking about it, doing the OnlyFans, to really think hard, what could potentially happen to you. Um, if I had a daughter and she was on that, I would never fucking talk to her again. That's just me. And I know that sounds brutal, but that would be embarrassing as fuck. I would probably end up changing my name, um, and everything, and moving somewhere so no one fucking knew me. Um, and I wouldn't have to worry about it because like my online presence is fucking minuscule, so it doesn't fucking matter. I could disappear tomorrow and nobody would ever find me. So it's like, but I would be so fucking ashamed, so embarrassed if I had a daughter that was that had an OnlyFans. That's just me though. So you females that have this, you might be able to um, find a man to have a relationship. Like I had a video saying like you can take advantage of the situation as a man. And you can, but just don't get emotionally invested in. You should really get too emotionally invested um into 100% emotionally invested into to females anyways, most of them nowadays. There are some good women here in America. Some minuscule. It's getting worse. It's getting a lot worse because they've been raised like shit. Um, their parents have completely fucking spoiled the hell out of them. They're high maintenance. A lot of them are getting more and more high maintenance, and they're used to a certain lifestyle, and their parents never told them no. So, what I'm trying to say is, if you have an OnlyFans and you're doing good right now, and maybe you're not doing good. And if I was gonna have an OnlyFans, I would probably try to go the Belle Delfino route, try to gain popularity, by not going all the way with like showing everything. But after you get everyone's attention, then you just make all your millions, and you can really make yourself set. But there's a lot of females that aren't doing too good on OnlyFans. I mean, they might be able to make rent for the month or whatever, but when you talk about long term potential, when you talk about down the road, when there's possibly younger females that come along and decide to do it, which there will be, um, it's gonna make it less and less. And if you look at female sexuality, it's so oversaturated on the internet. I used to like, man, I remember like, I used to go through females' photos on MySpace, and I would try to find females in my area to like date or whatever, talk to, because that was really cool. was a really cool feature they had. You could put how many miles. It was almost like a dating thing. And it's so stupid that nobody is doing it. But um, it's kind of like Plenty of Fish a little bit, but you can see everything. So I would go through their photos, and it would be rare that you see something like showing off their body in 2007 and um in a sexual manner. And I like the booty when I like that's my it was like one of my favorite things. Now it's just don't be overweight. That's so fucking sad. Anyway, don't be overweight, don't smoke, and don't be a fucking alcoholic. Crazy. Yeah. So I'm fucked. I'll be alone till I'm dead. Um so I used to search through the photos just to get a glance of what it looked like. Well, now it's like the first thing females show now, and it's like you would think. I mean, I'm sure a lot of dudes are just like, oh, like they've never seen a chick before, but now I'm just bored. Now, like I'm looking through TikTok, and then as soon as a girl does that, like the first thing I see is her booty. I swipe up. I don't want to watch the video. It's just dumb at that point to me, and I'm definitely not into dudes at all. So I love the female body. I think it's a beautiful thing, um, but it's just oversaturated and it's annoying. It's probably I can equate it to having all these dudes in their DMs, how probably that's so annoying for them. Um that how all these thirsty dudes are trying to get something from them sexually. Well, for me it's annoying all these females trying to get all this validation online. So I'm ahead of my time, I feel like. Maybe I'm not. I'm sure there's some guys that relate. There's still a lot of simps out there that haven't woken up to shit. It doesn't seem like they'll ever wake up. Um, they're just so drunk in their fucking um, horniness that they can't fucking see what the hell's going on, or like try to like at least be aware or somewhat like control themselves at all on the internet and just make themselves look like fucking pussies. Hey beautiful, God. Um so like these women are gonna age, right? They're gonna have all this content on the internet, and they might be able. I don't. Once it's on the internet, I think it's on there forever, man. It's saved somewhere. I could be wrong. They could delete their fucking shit, but somebody could have fucking stole it. Um, posting all this stuff on Instagram, over sexualizing yourself on Instagram and these sites like TikTok. A real man is not gonna really take them serious, and that's why I don't think females understand. Like a lot of them want relationships, but they don't want to be loyal. Um, I had a friend that she started getting a good presence on the internet, right? And I'm not gonna name any names at all. Awesome person. Went through some shit. Well, she had a YouTube channel. She had some. She had a good. I think she had like 5,000 subscribers. Well, she could have kept going that way. And she wasn't really the type that shows herself off like in a sexual manner. I don't want to go into detail who the hell she is, but um, I told her if she wanted a man to take her serious, she needed to have less online presence, less of herself out there. It's what it does for men, and you women can sit here and be like, oh, you're fucking insecure, you're insecure. Well, let me tell you something. If the roles were reversed, and I had all these hot chicks hitting me up, or girls hitting me up all the fucking time, commenting on all my shit, and you were my girl, how would that make you feel? and then I almost like pick that over you. How would that make you feel? Would that make you feel insecure? Well, they never think like that. They think, "Oh, you're just fucking insecure." It's not cool, man. It's not right. It's not right to make your partner feel like replaceable. It's not right. Um Talk about insecurity and shit. Men are territorial. That's how we are. And we don't want a bunch of dudes like hitting on our girl all the fucking. We know what happens, but it's like I'm not gonna constantly compete. I'm not gonna compete, dude. I'm not. That's what a lot of guys are gonna come to. I'm not gonna fucking continue to compete. I know a long term relationship is all work. It's a lot of work. Work doesn't stop just because you marry somebody doesn't mean the work fucking stops at all. Okay, but I'm not gonna fucking compete. I'm not gonna fucking do it. The average relationship, fucking long term relationship, if it even gets past a couple of months, like they don't last nowadays at all. So why would I take any of this shit serious? Why would any man take any of this fucking long term happily ever after till we're dead shit serious? Why would we fully invest in something like marriage, what we're supposed to do to death do us part, when we can be left so quick and replaced instantly? I see these women that are decent looking on TikTok and they're living their cars, or they portray they live in their cars. But I'm thinking to myself, all they gotta do is get a boyfriend, they can move in and live with them. Men don't have that option right now. Maybe in the future we will. Maybe things will. If we continue this society in America and it doesn't collapse, it probably will flip, especially if you're a decent looking dude, or like because of all the dudes that don't want to take care of themselves. Now, I see both sides of the coin when it comes to that, man, where women's standards are just too high, so it's kind of like pointless to even fucking worry about it. Um, you're not really getting the value you pay for out of something, you know. But like the constant fucking threat of other dudes on the internet potentially taking your fucking girl like all the time. You know, I think that if you want to have a family, if you want to have a serious relationship, it's probably best to try to have little of yourselves out there as possible, so you're not exposed to all these different people. I mean, if you seriously want to have a family and shit, but you know, people, you do what you want. You know, you could be successful, but people don't stay together. They don't stay together, and um, it's more risky for a man to get into a long term relationship than it is a female right now, financially, all that shit. Um, it's not really worth it. It's not really worth it. I'm to the point I don't even want to fucking. I don't want to put in. I can. I'm not bragging. Okay, like data. There's guys that can't even get a fucking girl's attention at all, man. So I'm definitely like not bragging at all. I'm not one of these fucking Don Juans, like fucking PUA dudes, okay? Like on fucking like these red pill fucking dudes that just get these fucking dimes. Like, cool, man, good for you, dude. I wouldn't even want a dime if I could have one. Um but it's just like being respectful, and seeing that a woman doesn't have a huge online presence is kind of a turn on, an attraction. for a man. Um, so like these females that are on OnlyFans in the future, when all their stuff's out there, even if they was to delete their OnlyFans, you know, they might have an Instagram. They're not going to be able to delete every comment off their Instagram or something like that. Whatever social media. And if a if her man decides to go into her history or pays somebody to go into her history and look for shit like that, why wouldn't you? If I'm going to invest highly into somebody, why would, if I don't want to do it myself, why would I not pay somebody to go right through that fucking history, see what it says? People will do it. And that could be a business coming up too. Um, and see that. Because that's embarrassing, man. If I talked to a girl and I liked her and she was cool, I found out she had an OnlyFans or she was on it, I wouldn't take her serious at all, man. I don't want I don't want the woman I'm with to have herself out there like that. Um, I was with this one chick once, and she was doing stuff on the internet. It was with the same sex or whatever. So it could have been worse. It could have been with and yeah, she was with dudes before. But like, I don't need a fucking visual. And they found out at my work, and like, it was fucking embarrassing, dude. That shit. I wanted to quit my job, man. I didn't want to be with her no more after that either. That was so fucking. You look at somebody and you think like, when you're looking at these females, you think purity, innocence, and then when that shit comes out, it's just like there's you don't respect them the same, and that's what I'm trying to say. If you females on OnlyFans, go get your bag, man. If you can get your bag, get your fucking bag, dude. But a lot of you aren't, and you're potentially gonna put yourself where no man's gonna want to have you for a long term relationship. Um, you might end up in your 40s or 50s, and you won't have any kids. Um, so you're not gonna have any type of support. Your family might disown you, so you're not gonna be able to turn to them for help. You might be able to find some simp or whatever, but you're not gonna be happy in that situation. um, you might not be able to ever get employed. Maybe we won't have to work. Maybe everything goes to robots, so you don't have to worry about it. But nobody's gonna take you serious. I think a realistic situation going forward, it would be nice if robots took over and did all of our jobs, but I think that we're pretty far off from that. Now I know the Tesla bot's coming out, but the reason why I say this is because Elon Musk is so concerned about population subtracting and being less than. So the older people won't be, so there'll be less workers. So that tells me that technology isn't as where it needs to be to replace workers. Maybe down the road, but in the next 10, 15 years. So you're gonna have less products out there, and I think it's gonna get harder. I think that people who are blue collar workers will get paid more than white collar workers coming up. I think white collar workers you better, with your cushy jobs, you better understand what's coming. I think I think there's a lot of blue collar jobs that are open right now, but the white collar jobs aren't really needed as much. So you're seeing a lot of those people, because I see a lot of TikToks where people are like, "Oh, I made all." Maybe they're just doing it for views. I don't know, but they said they wanted for all these interviews, no one's hiring for them. Or they're probably trying to get a white collar job. Blue collar jobs, there's a ton of them, man. That's where the shortage is, blue collar. So when I say blue collar, I mean like they're gonna make a lot of money in the future. I think like the trades, the serious, not some like factory worker or whatever the fuck I am, painter or whatever. They might be okay, but I'm talking about like infrastructure. I'm talking about um, plumbers and electricians and shit. It's because it's gonna be less of. There's not gonna be a big supply. People don't want to get their hands dirty. This new generation's weak, and it is. It's weak. They're soft, and it's gonna make more less of a supply of these people who actually do the infrastructure. Um, and it seems like women aren't gonna pick up the slack. Um, some, but the majority ain't doing it. They ain't, most of these hard jobs that are really physically demanding or dirty. The labor isn't 50-50 male and female. It's mostly male in all these jobs. So what I think is going to happen is you're going to see a lot of these females who are putting themselves out there, and they might think that they're living high on the hog. They're living in the fast lane right now, right? Like they can use their sexuality in a lot of different ways to get what they want. In the future, that's not going to be the case, and I think there's going to be a lot of undesirable females that end up homeless. There's a thing going on with guys right now. We're just tired. We're tired of their shit. We're tired of um their high standards, their fucking attitudes, their feminism. We're tired of it, and we're not gonna put up with it. And yeah, there's a rise of lonely single men. Fuck yeah. And guess what? Guess what's coming? The rise of single lonely women. That's coming too. Now you can get your cats and shit like that. And possibly you can make cat videos or whatever the fuck you're gonna do and make money off of that. But you better invest in the right fucking things, man. Because you could end up being fucking homeless. You could end up being like these women that are straight up selling themselves on the streets, and then they end up on drugs. Like that could be your future. And it's sad. It's really sad that a lot of these females were led down this path. They look at the bright shiny thing right now, but what happens to that bright shiny thing if it's not maintained, or it gets boring. That's what happens with objects. It's cool at first. It's awesome at first, man. A new car, it's awesome. Then it ends up being more of a liability than, because it's just a form of transportation, man. It's like clothes. It's just to keep myself somewhat protected and warm. But it gets old, it gets boring, and this whole consumerism thing is, I need to keep getting more and more and more and more. Well, that'll never be ending unless the supply runs out. Well, the supply is gonna start running out, man. It's gonna start running thin, and people are unaware. They just think, oh, it's just gonna continue. Okay, okay, keep not paying attention what's happening right now, thinking that America, like you're not paying attention at all. What's happening in America? The slow decline. We are declining. Okay. Um, there may not be another superpower like that comes up to replace us, except they might all be equal to us or somewhat higher. Rome didn't just cease to exist. It's just a ghost town now. But it wasn't the superpower, the leader no more. And America has a lot of great things, man. Like America probably has It's probably the best place when you talk about territory to live. Like, you can have whatever you want. I mean, there's honestly, there's not really any reason to go anywhere else in the world if you live in America. If you want to see desert, we have desert. If you want to go to beaches, we have beaches. We have some beautiful beaches in Key West, Florida. Um, we got mountains, we got trees, we got seasons changing. We like have all of that stuff, man. So if you like a certain type of climate or terrain, we pretty much have it here. Um, so there's not really any reason to go outside of the country. Like if you used to live in like Norway or something like that, well, they're not gonna have beaches. They're not gonna have like Bahamas beaches or something like that. So, man, I'm deterring completely from the OnlyFans thing. But what I think is like men are just not gonna take these females serious, man. Um, Especially with them putting themselves out there like that. We might have fun, but when I look at a woman, dude, I don't care. Like my standards are so much higher now than they were when I was younger. I don't even feel safe going to a woman's house not knowing her at all. Because I feel like I'm gonna be set up. And I used to do that all the time. I wasn't worried at all. And I know I can handle myself, but if like I got a group of guys that come out with guns and shit and rob me, which it does happen, you know, I mean, she could set me up at any time. That could happen at any time, but like, especially like the first encounter, and I see like this woman that she might be attractive, um, on the street, but I think to myself, I want nothing to do with her because she probably has all these mental problems. Why would I want to bring her in my house? She might steal from me. She might end up trying to kill me in my sleep. She might do drugs and all that shit. I don't want any part of that shit, man. I don't want any of that in my life. And I want peace. I want peace in my life. Man, like this is what women need to understand. Men, when we go and go to work or whatever, we're always fucking competing with other dudes. Always. We're like going to war. It's not like real fucking warfare, but it's we deal with like verbal insults and shit, and some of them get like in there like underneath the skin, and you're like, dang man. But then you just have to deal with it and fucking move on, or you get embarrassed because you fuck up and everyone's laughing at you, you know, and you deal with that, and you let it roll off your back. You gain that fucking thick skin and all that. So when a man comes home, the last thing he wants to do is be fucking competing with his woman. We don't want to compete. We want peace and quiet. We don't want fucking drama. It's like if a woman's gonna be in my life, she's there for fucking fun. We're at this point, it's fun, man. For me, if I was gonna have some long term relationship, and I surely do, I want one woman I can trust that me and her can have like an intimate relationship, and I don't have to worry about her going out and being with other dudes. I don't want to have to. I don't. That's the last thing I want to fucking worry about when I look at a someone I'm intimate with that I'm taking serious. um, because you get used to routines and shit. You get used to people being in your life, and then to have to, I'm loyal as fuck, man. Like, if I'm talking to somebody and I'm really talking to somebody, I'm not gonna be fucking around on the side, dude. So I'll leave the cupboards empty. So I don't want that worry of she's out there fucking talking to someone else or looking for my replacement. If she is, then fuck off, man. Go be single, do your thing. But um we don't want that drama. I don't want to come home and all my shit's fucking gone, or I don't want to come home and she's fucking everything up and destroying my place, and I got the cops coming to my house and they think that I'm the one destroying it. I don't want to deal with that shit, man. And a lot of guys are wising up and thinking the same fucking thing. Not all. It's probably a small minority of guys who are like, fuck that shit, man. I don't care how fucking hot she is. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. Um, I'm not even sure I want to bring females back to where I live. Um, I, maybe it's just me getting older and wiser. Man, listen, honestly, I'm past my prime. I'm an old fucking man now. I have people think, oh, you look like you're fucking in your 30s. For me, it's like, I don't know what it is. I think that I feel like the elephant man. So it's like, I've had my fun. I've had my day in the sun, even though it's been not that great. Other people have had way better, but it is what it is. At least I had something. Um, at least I had a couple relationships underneath my belt. I got kids or whatever, and um, you know, I've worked hard in this life, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, it's the end for me, but for me, it's kind of like, dude, I've lived my life, man. You know, I, I'm resorting back to immaturity. Playing video games, not wanting to fucking do any hard work. And I do enough to fucking pay my bills and sustain myself, but I don't want to put the extra effort out there. I don't want to be no entrepreneur. I don't want responsibilities. I haven't had a pet since I had a turtle, and it passed away. Um, I don't know, like 10 years ago. And I'd like to have a cat or a dog, but I don't want to take care of it. Man, I've raised two kids on my own, two teens on my own. I don't want that shit no more, dude. I don't want any more responsibility. I don't want to be around anybody else's kids. I don't want to raise anybody else's kids. I don't want to deal with baby daddies and all that fucking bullshit. For me, for me, I kind of like older women that are around my age because, well, I can't have kids anyway, and I think, well, their kids are almost grown. Well, it's weird because now they're not. They're like 10 and shit. I don't want to deal with that, man. If I'm gonna talk to a girl seriously, a woman seriously, I want her kids almost out of the fucking house. I don't want to be raising fucking kids, man. I don't want to be. I told my kids, better not fucking have kids. I know this is savage. If you have a fucking kid, you better figure that shit out on your own. I'm not raising that kid. I'm sorry. I'm not fucking doing it. And that's what it seems like my purpose is here, to be a fucking plow horse. But I'm not having that shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to be a plow horse. I'm not. I've already been a plow horse long enough. I actually want to enjoy my fucking life. I want to enjoy my leisure time, whatever the fuck that is. I don't want to work 80 hours a week to try to impress some female with material shit at this point. Um, I don't want to um, fund the luxuries of a woman at all. I don't want to fund her extras. She could do that on her own. I don't want to pay for fucking a nice date, a nice first date. It's only going to be coffee or maybe a drink, like at a bar, which I hate going to bars, but um, a small hole in the wall bar. I'm not paying for fucking dinner, so she can never talk to me again. And I have to pay the fucking bill, and I have to deal with that. Oh, who's paying? And then she looks at me like I'm a piece of shit because I don't want to pay her. I'm a cheapskate. When I'm thinking in my head, is she just using me for a free meal? And for some odd reason, a lot of these females just don't understand that. They just think you're being a cheap ass, whereas it's not. It's like, we're strangers. You have no obligation to ever fucking talk to me again, let alone be intimate with me because I pay for your fucking meal. But it's like, we live in 2022. Pay for fucking half, and I don't give a fuck what Andrew Tate or any other people say when they say, "Oh, man should pay for." Dude, whatever, dude. You're fucking rich, man. You're rich. Whatever. This ain't the 19 fucking 50s no more. And these women aren't the women from the 19 fucking 50s. The women from the 1950s were fucking classy. And I'm not saying there's no classy women nowadays. I'm just saying it's fucking rare. So why? I don't. And if I had a girlfriend, like to me, like me paying for dinners is a girlfriend fucking thing, man. Paying for like cool dates, that's a girlfriend thing. That's not some me paying for a fucking stranger's free meal. It's not. And call me a loser, call me a fucking scrub. I don't give a fuck. You're not gonna call me a sucker. You ain't gonna call me that. Um. So I think this mentality that I have, and the reason why I talk about this is I think that men will start waking up and have this fuck you mentality, callous mentality, where they don't let themselves um, be duped, and they actually are aware of shit, and you know, so weird to say is higher their fucking standards, raise their fucking standards. Um, yeah, you end up impregnating somebody, and you could be a slave for 18 fucking years. They could toss you aside, find the next fucking dude. Like, easy for them. It's so easy for a female to find another dude. You know how much work it takes for a man to find a woman that actually is interested? Especially somebody like me. I'm fucking a 5, dude. I'm a fucking 5. I ain't shit. And a lot of dudes are on my fucking level, man. I could make myself maybe. I could potentially make myself top 20% of men. Do I want to? Do I think that they're worth it? Don't feel like it. No, I'll do it for myself. I'll do it for myself so I can walk around, and because I do plan on doing it, but I want to be able to have that card in the back of my pocket to be like I could walk around and um you know I got myself validation for myself, and knowing that it's kind of like having two incomes when you work two jobs or whatever the fuck you're doing. If that one job don't fucking work out, you still have that other income coming in to pay your fucking bills while you find another job to replace it. That's why, like Aaron Clary was saying, it's good to have two incomes right now for yourself. And it is. And I plan on doing that, but I'm still raising a fucking kid. So I have a lot on my fucking plate. Why I say this shit because a lot of guys are gonna start thinking like me, man, and that's why this video is so long and probably won't be watched all the way through. And if anybody reaches this point, thank you, um, and thanks for listening to my ramblings. It's pretty blunt, straightforward, but yeah, we guys, it's more of a flex for women not to have a huge online presence, especially to take them serious. Like I said, if you want to have fucking kids, you need to lower your friends around you, and females need to understand what a real friend is from what acquaintances are. They really do. And they need to understand all those guys in the friend zone, all these guys that they claim to be as friends, they want to bang them, and at any point all they got to be like is come over, I'm horny, and they will. They'll abandon that 10-year relationship to score with her. The only reason guys want to talk to females or put up with their shit is because they want the potential relationship or to bang them, and that's it. It's not because, oh, we want to be fucking friends and talk about shit. Maybe if they like dudes or something, they could talk about boys. But straight men, No, man. There's other reasons why they're around. Um, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. This video is so fucking long. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So we can't be fucking friends, man. We cannot be fucking friends. They can be. They can be friends with a lot of fucking guys. They're more social than we are. Um, we're right to the fucking point, dude. We're right to the fucking point. And that's why, like, women are the glue. Women are the glue to the fucking family. They get us together. They get us all together. They get us. I've said this before. We talk about going and have like a Christmas or a fucking Thanksgiving, and you're gonna go to grandma and grandpa's. You don't say we're gonna go to grandma and grandpa's. Most of the time, you say we're gonna go to grandma's for dinner. We're gonna go to grandma's for Christmas and Thanksgiving, because man, we don't decorate the fucking environment that if we're straight. Um, we're not about that shit. But women love to do that shit. They're nurturing. They're the fucking glue of the family. They're the ones that bring everybody together, man. The dudes aren't. We just aren't built that way. Me and my kids have such direct to the point conversations. We don't need to sit here and fucking talk for hours. We don't. We talk right to the fucking point. We get right to the point. We don't fluff around shit. um, that's how dudes are. Um, people are so confused with dating and relationships right now. All this is an experiment. Social media, all this is all fucking new. Um, why is there so much mental illness? Because parents splitting up and not giving a shit about their kids and putting themselves first before their kids. Um, yeah, when you have kids, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. A lot. There's a lot of things I fucking sacrificed. Um, yeah, when you want to have a fucking family, you need to have less people. Strangers. You need to have more fucking family. And it doesn't have to be blood related family. People you trust that have your back. The more people you have in your life, the more problems you have. And that's what that's what I'm saying about the internet. The more people, she's got a ton of followers, cause more problems, man. Cause all these fucking problems. That shit's fucking annoying. Oh, you're insecure. You're insecure. That shit's fucking annoying. Okay, it's fucking annoying. Don't want to deal with that shit. And a lot of guys will be like, I don't want to deal with that shit. It's not worth it. It's not worth. Sometimes you know how much sex you have in a relationship compared to the actual relationship is so small. So if like that's your whole goal, and that's what a lot of guys are. We think about it a lot, but how much you actually have in that relationship is so small to put up with all the bullshit you got to put up with. And I think at some point, if we continue this society, I think we're gonna become more conservative. I think things are gonna get a lot harder. So we're not. If we continue this progression, real prostitution will become more legalized. But and it should, if we continue this the degeneracy. So men can get a receipt and protect themselves with the Me Too shit. Um, instead of like risking, oh, well, months later, I don't like you, or in the middle of it, like she was cool with it, and then all of a sudden it's like, stop. It's like, okay, I do stop, and then she says I did something else. Like, I have a receipt. I have a fucking receipt, and it says I'm clean. Like, everything's cool, and it sucks that it has to be like that, but the way that females are going, that's how it's gonna have to fucking be. Unless they start being more conservative. You want to keep progression? Okay, I'm all about progression, man. I really am. But there's certain things in society, it's because human nature is not, it doesn't align with human nature, and it doesn't make sense. Maybe it will in 100 years from now, but right now it doesn't. Um, so, yeah, that's it.